got 15 mobile companies that have been that have received the AIPs, and I think right now the numbers we have suggest that we already have over 2 million registered users. We've had about a little over 600,000 transactions, but these are really in the pilot stage. So the decision was to fast track the final licensing of these mobile phones. We still have a few challenges to do with interconnectivity. Some of those challenges are coming from the lack of cooperation from maybe one large mobile operator who I think had wanted to be like a Safaricom and didn't get it. But we'll deal with it, and we have ways of dealing with it, and we'll look at it, and we'll move forward.
The growth of agriculture is really big in the government's strategic plans for the economy. Speak to how the banks and the government are working together in this respect.
Well, you know, the banks actually, the banking system has spearheaded this whole NERSAL thing. And we have been a major driver of agri-transformation. What we have discovered is that process that started with the central bank and the banks working seems to be having some problems because of limited communication. I think the fact that we know the people in agriculture means that we've taken it for granted that there's communication. And therefore, there are things that are strategically agreed between the Central Bank and the Ministry of Agriculture. At the level of implementation, you have issues. So, for example, we have a loan process where you're providing funding for the growth enhancement support that the ministry is giving to farmers. And there are certain payments that can only be made on the confirmation of the Ministry of Agriculture, which owes the money. Now, somebody in the ministry is supposed to provide that confirmation for the Central Bank pays, and he doesn't do it. So the payment isn't made. And maybe the government thinks that the banks are not lending, but the money is there, only that you cannot, we as bankers cannot disburse without authorization from. So small operational issues that come from a lack of communication and lack of proper understanding by the civil servants of how banking works. And these are things, again, that were covered today, and decisions were taken on how to deal with them.
What's the sense from the committee on how quickly we'll resolve this issue?
You know, the thing is, these issues, you're always on a journey. And remember that when you do things like GES, you're talking about, I'll give you a number of examples. You go to a farming community and you want to provide growth enhancement support using mobile phones. And then you find that some of the farmers actually don't have mobile phones. Okay, and you've got to say, well, in the interim, you've got to give them the option to use vouchers. But you confront that problem when you actually come to the location, or you come in and find you want to identify the farmer, and you can't even get proper, say, fingerprints, okay, for those farmers, and you need to have the village head, or you do have a farmer with a mobile phone, but the way the system is designed is that he's got to make choices, and it's just like even in English. What is your product? Is it maize or sorghum? And they realize that, well, these guys don't understand English. So do you have to run a program in their local language? Now, these things you come across as you are in implementation. And our responsibility is to say, as soon as we see a problem, what is the solution? Who provides that solution? And give the directive for it to be provided.